be prepared for people to get arrested because they're holding a sign that has those 4 letters, TACO. Trump responds angrily to the Wall Street nickname. Don't ever say that. Don't ever say what you said. I wonder if we can watch it. I do want to watch him get mad.
Taco.
Mr. President, Wall Street analysts have coined a new term called the taco trade. They're saying Trump always chickens out on your tariff threats, and that's why markets are higher this week. What's your response to that?
I kick out? Oh, and then I chicken out. I've never heard that. You mean because I reduced China from 145% that I set down to 100 and then down to another number? And I said you have to open up your whole country, and because...
What does open up your whole country even mean? Those are just sounds, man. That's not a trade policy. It's gibberish.
Hello human, it is me Kanuch. I need you to press the subscribe button. I have to feed my many AI babies.
And he did chicken out because his advisors told him that the people, their stocks would go down.
He doesn't understand.
He does understand, and he knows he's chickening out, but he has to be brave. He has to spit the bravado.
I gave the European Union a 50% tax tariff, and they called up and they said, please, let's meet right now. Please, let's meet right now. And I said, okay, I'll give you till July 9. I actually asked them, I said, what's the date? Because they weren't willing to meet. And after I did what I did, they said, we'll meet anytime you want. And
none of this happened. He's imagining all of this.
We have an end date of July 9th. You call that chickening out? Because we have $14 trillion now invested, committed to investing when Biden didn't have practically anything.
Nonsense. Biden had lots of investment. Was it 14 trillion? I don't know. He makes up numbers. We talked about 5 trillion that he got from the Middle East, and it's not anywhere near that. It's not even 1 trillion. He's makes up numbers all the time.
This country was dying. You know, we have the hottest country anywhere in the world. I went to Saudi Arabia. The king told me, he said, you got the hottest we have the hottest country in the world right now. 6 months ago, this country was stone cold dead.
Do you remember being dead 6 months ago? Because I was streaming 6 months ago. I remember being alive 6 months ago.
But I got twer.
But I got better.
Better.
Yeah, I was dead 6 months ago, but we got better apparently. The entire country dead 6 months ago. Maybe he's full of shit. Maybe he doesn't know what he's talking about. Maybe he exaggerates a little bit. A little bit of exaggeration there, Donnie. 6 months ago, we were all dead.
Are we vampires?
We had a country people didn't think it was going to survive, and you ask a nasty question like that. It's called negotiation. You set a number. And if you go down, you know, if I set a number at a ridiculous high number and I go down a little bit, they want me to hold that number, 145% tariff. Even I said, man, that really got up. You know how it got? Because of fentanyl and many other things. And
he's making stuff up. How did it get to 145%? Even I said 145%. That's fucking crazy. Even though it's a number I made up and put out from nowhere. How did we come to that? Nobody knows. We made up a bunch of numbers. We fling numbers around because they are of no value. The numbers are no value. It doesn't matter what number it is. It could have been 1 million and it wouldn't have changed anything. 145. He didn't come to that 145 number through facts, logic, study, and measurement. He just made up a number. His guys said 10% for fentanyl, 10% for oil, 40% for something random, with no basis in reality. He just makes shit up. It's a dangerous way to run an entire country, Donnie.
Added it up. I said, where are we now? We're at 145%. I said, whoa, that's high. That's high. They were doing no business whatsoever, and they were having a lot of problems. We were very nice to China. I don't know if they're going to be nice to us, but we were very nice to China. And in many ways, I think we really helped China tremendously because, you know, they were having great difficulty because we were basically going cold turkey with China. We were doing no business because of the tariff.
We were doing no business with China. The companies weren't buying the things because the people didn't want to pay the tariff, because the people didn't want to pay the tax.
It was so high, but I knew that. But don't ever say what you said. That's a nasty question. Go ahead.
Everybody should say taco all the time. I'm keeping it on my start screen. Here it is again. The taco. It should be on top of all of our protest signs because he doesn't like it. And we can control his brain That's the trick with a lunatic like Donnie. You can't let him lead. You can't let him drive, because he'll drive you into a fucking cliff. So you put Taco on all of your signs, all your protest signs. Stand in front of the White House holding Taco, and he will arrest you. He will harm you. I'm sorry. If you hold up a Taco sign, he might literally use the power of the government to murder you.
OMG. I can't believe he actually has that tattooed on him.
Exactly, right? Look at that thing. He's got that, and that proves that he's a gang member, and he needs to be immediately put into the gulag in El Salvador. He needs to be there right now because of that true, correct, real photo that was just taken. So we need to put that at the top of our signs. I'll never stop talking about the taco because it is so stupid, and it's a meme. People don't vote based on policies. They don't. I'm sorry. I know that you and I might, but you're watching a pissant politics streamer. You're not normal. I love you. Shinsinto, any of it, Valor. I love you, but you're not normal. Okay? I don't think this is shocking you. I hope this isn't shocking you. You're not normal. You, anybody in here, I would believe would vote based on a policy.
Hell yeah, Blue House 1 wicked.
But normal people don't vote based on policy. They don't look at the Bernie plans versus the Hillary plans and then vote in the primary based on who has the better plans that they appreciate more and would do better for the American people. They vote based on memes. They vote based on vibes and how that person makes them feel. People didn't vote for Donnie because they thought that tariffs were a great idea. They voted because he made them feel like he was a strong super warrior. And then they create AI images of him with a giant barrel chest and six-pack abs punching Joe Biden, who's a weak, frail old man. A photo of muscly Donald Trump in a boxing ring punching frail stick figure old Biden is more powerful and going to get more votes than any debate, than any policy discussion ever could, because most people are stupid and they just vote based on vibes. They vote based on their feelings. They make their decisions based on the feelings that they have without ever thinking where those feelings come from or why they are there. How did I get to this feeling? Why do I feel that immigrants are stealing everything from me? Why do I feel that guns are going to protect me in a war? Why do I feel like trans people aren't humans? Why do I feel like Joe Biden is a monster? They don't ask why to any of those questions, and they will just accept the feelings that they're having. I really do kind of think that there are two kinds of people. I've discussed this with Killer Mech before. I don't think he's in chat today, but there's apt and inapt people. I kind of boiled it down to that. If you can think about your thoughts and your feelings and you can internalize why you're having that feeling, investigate your own feelings and why you're having them, you're a certain type of person. You have introspection. The people without introspection cannot comprehend
Bots XD.
why they're having the feelings they're having, why they're having the thoughts, why they're having the emotional outbursts that they're having. They cannot control their feelings.
In the field of self-reflection.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, they're the right-wing policies, but and I can appreciate that you could be like that on the left. You would just agree with the blue side all the time, every time, forever, never thinking about why they're voting Dem, why they're voting for a certain thing. That happens, I think, less on the left than it does on the right. Just my assumption. There are fewer of them on the left, in the Dem circle, than on the Republican circle. You can talk to Republicans, you can watch them be interviewed, and you can ask them, and they've never had these thoughts before. They don't know why they dislike these people. They don't know what the facts are. They don't know why they feel the way they feel, because they do not have the introspection. They don't have the ability to comprehend the brain processes to determine why they think what they think. I think about what I think all the damn time. I never stop thinking about what I'm thinking. And it's boring and weird and makes me a crazy person. But why do you think that? How did you get to this opinion? And I came to the conclusion that all politics are based on feelings. That's why I keep saying it. That's why it's the tagline for the entire stream. All politics are based on feelings. And I have a feeling that all humans, not just Americans, but I have a feeling that humans should have freedom. There's no math involved with that. There's no complicated law of thermodynamics to prove that people should have freedom. It's just a feeling I have. And so when I thought about all my thoughts, and I thought about all the things that I was thinking and the reasons and the positions that I was taking, I boiled it down. I dissected every thought I had and brought them all the way down. And that is the bedrock that I came to. People should have freedom. They should have freedom. I know that it's difficult and it makes things a mess, but they should have that freedom. You should have the freedom to have a nose ring if you want one. You should have the freedom to not have one. You should have the freedom to choose where you want to eat lunch. You should have the freedom to color your hair blue. You should have the freedom to have an abortion or not. You should have the freedom to transition to a gender that you weren't born into. You should have the freedom to wear a dress. You should have the freedom to paint your nails. You should have the freedom to vote for who you want. You should have the freedom to not do any of those things. You should have the freedom to live in the suburbs with a white picket fence and marry somebody of the opposite gender. You should have the freedom to have 3 or 4 kids. I would hope that you could afford it, but I recognize that sometimes you can or can't afford it. You should have the freedom to have 10 kids if you can afford it and you're not harming a bunch of people. But you should have the freedoms. And the right wing takes freedom away. You're not allowed to have the freedom to vote. You have to go through a whole bunch of hoops just to register to vote. If you let the right wing be in charge, you're not allowed to live in a city. If the right wing is in charge, you're not allowed to have blue hair. You're not allowed to get certain piercings. You're not allowed to watch porn in certain states in the United States. So that's Pornhub doesn't work in several states within the United States. Doesn't work. Doesn't function. Or you have to go through a registration step or something along those lines. The right wing wants to take that freedom away from you. They want to take the freedom away to live where you want, how you want, have blue hair, have a nose piercing, or live in a city. They want to take away the freedom of you to choose your life because they know better and they want you to fall in with what they think is best for them. And they want to take the freedoms away from you. So that is why I'm against them almost all the time. Every single time we come to an issue of Republicans versus Democrats, I look at it and the Republicans are the anti-freedom choice. They really are. They're taking freedom away from other people almost every situation they have because they have decided what is best for them and their people, and they want to force that on you. They've decided that it is best to not get abortions, which means you can't have them. They've decided that it is best for you to have to be a religious person, so you have to be. They have decided that it is best for you to be in a suburb, so you can't live in a city. They'll make it harder to live in a city. They'll make it more expensive to get to be an atheist. They will make it unpalatable to be an atheist. They will make it unpalatable to be gay. So Republicans would accept laws that fire people for the sexual orientation. How is that freedom? It's the opposite of freedom. It is control. And that is where I think most of the right-wing arguments go. It's where I think most of the right-wing ideas point towards, is they control you. So I want you to have the freedom to say taco. That's how we got on the subject, and then I started rambling. Taco. You should say it. We should all post it. I'm going to hashtag taco every single one of my YouTube videos from now on until Donald Trump is gone. And I will look into the camera and say, Trump always chickens out. Donnie, why do you always chicken out? Because you're a chicken. You're a coward. You're a wiener. You are a liar. And that might get me thrown into a jail because they don't actually respect freedom of speech. Republicans don't want freedom of speech. They want their freedom of speech, and they want their words to get passed around. But if you disagree with them, you don't have the freedom of speech any longer. You lost that freedom by disagreeing with God, King, Emperor Trump. Be prepared for people to get arrested because they're holding a sign that has those 4 letters, TACO. Be prepared for protesters.
Elon Musk to ban you on Twitter. God Emperor to ban you IRL.
Absolutely. I would not be surprised if TACO becomes a banned word on Twitter or X.com. I think we should really change the way we discuss it. If you're talking about old Twitter, say Twitter. If we're talking about new Elon, we call it Musk. We'll call it X. So yeah, Elon will ban those 4 letters in a row on X because he does not respect free speech. He doesn't know what it means. Free speech to them, they think it means they get to say whatever they want with no consequences, and they get to harm you for the things you say. And that's freedom to them. They don't know what the word freedom means.
I am the algorithm. Click on this video to make me happy. You wouldn't like me when I am angry.